Hey everyone, Ace of Clay here. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to another sculpting video. Today I will be using a random character generator to decide what I sculpt. Alright, so at the beginning of the month in my Facebook group, Snakes of Clay, we started a monthly sculpting challenge where everybody has to sculpt the same thing, but no one is allowed to show what their final piece looks like until the very end of the month. So to decide what everyone was going to sculpt, I went to that random character generator website from a few videos ago when I made the Compassionate Demon, and I came up with this crazy creature. So we're going to go back in time for a sec really quick to when I ran the generator to come up with what we're making today. So roll that clip. All right, now with all that said, we're gonna head on over to conceptstart.net and generate a character. All right, now cross your fingers, we get something cool. All right, the gender is male, the age group is young adult, personality relaxed, armament a double-handed axe, being a goblin, appearance unusual, and a key feature is funny hair. That's a cool one, I like that. Okay, there are so many ways that you can interpret a goblin, so that's cool. We got lucky. We got a good character to make. All right, if you want to see me bring this guy to life, then hit like, hit subscribe, and let's get started. Oh, and follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Ace of Clay. Okay, you know the drill. First step is the armature. I'm going to shape out our goblin's feet, legs, and torso from this aluminum wire. And as always, all of the materials and tools that I use in this video are listed in the description box below, along with my affiliate links if you want to purchase anything. And it looks like we're off to a good start. Believe it or not, this thing can stand already. And I'm just going to add some more wire to create the arms, and I'm attaching it with some floral wire. And then I'm going to bulk out the torso and stomach area with some aluminum foil. I'm then going to cover this in some Super Sculpey Ultralight, and the reason I'm using the foil is just so I use less ultralight. The foil is cheaper than the ultralight. Okay, so let's do that. And then I want to give this guy some very sort of big, tree stumpy kind of legs and really skinny arms. I don't know, I pictured it in my head and it works out in the end, so just wait for that. So because I want the legs to be so large, I'm adding some ultralight to those too, adding a bamboo skewer for the neck, inserting it into the torso like so, and it's ready to bake. And once it's baked and completely cooled down, it's nice and hard, and we can add our final layer of clay. I'm using Super Sculpey Original. And to get these nice even sheets of clay, I've rolled it through my pasta maker on the thickest setting. And once the entire thing is covered in a nice even layer of Super Sculpey Original, we're going to work our way from the bottom up and start with the feet. I'm just going ahead and adding the toes as separate pieces of clay like so, blending them in with my spoon tool, and then we're going to go from there and add some more details. Also want to add that little ankle bone. And then as an added detail, I'm going to go ahead and add a little joint to each toe and then blend that in as well. And while we're at it, let's add some snakes of clay to create some tendons. And once the feet are looking pretty good, I'm going to work my way up to the knees, add another piece of clay for those. And I'm not adding the toenails yet just because I want them to be long and pointy and I don't want to screw them up when I do everything else. So I'm going to save those for last, right before I bake this guy. Going ahead and adding some wrinkles to the back of the knees. Now we're going to start the shorts, create this nice tattered looking fabric and attach that and blend the top edge in with everything else. And before I get any further, I just want to let you guys know that this guy's name is Elvis. Elvis the Goblin. I don't know why, it just popped into my head. And once those shorts are looking pretty good, we're going to go ahead and add the pectoral area as one piece of clay like this and blend that in. And now let's finish off the top of the shorts. I rolled a snake of clay vertically through my pasta maker on the 6 setting to get this nice even strip. So I'm just adding it to the top of where the shorts would start and blending the bottom edge in with everything else. There we go. Now we're going to do the same thing for his collar. And then really quick, while I'm adding details to this guy here, I just want to thank you for all of your support on my creepypasta fan art videos this past month. I had a lot of fun making them, and it was honestly a really nice break because I didn't have to think of something completely original every single week, and that is like half the stress for me. So I really enjoyed recreating other people's art. I will be doing more fan art in the future, and I do know that some of you got sick of the creepypasta sculpts towards the end, but as you can see, we're back to normal now with this guy. But like I said, thank you so much for the support on those. I really appreciate it, and you guys are awesome, and I hope you continue to enjoy my channel. And for the final step, like I mentioned, we're going to go ahead and add those long pointy toenails and then brush the entire surface with clay softener to remove fingerprints and get him ready for another bake. Now while that guy's in the oven, we're going to go ahead and create the double-handed axe. And a double-handed axe is just a really big axe that you have to hold with 2 hands. It's so big. So we're going to go ahead and make that with a piece of wire, add some clay around it, and a nice little wood texture. And then using my nice little roller, we're going to create the blade. And then the reason I'm using the roller and not my pasta maker is because I want this to be thicker than what my pasta maker can create. Now we're just cutting out that blade, sharpening the end of it with my broken palette knife. And then we are going to attach it to the armature like so, and then cover that piece of wire with some more clay. Now using my large ball stylus, I'm gently going to tap it on the surface of the blade to create a pounded metal texture, and then create some little nicks with my explorer tool, and then add another piece of clay to sort of wrap that metal around the handle, like so. Blend that in really nice, and then of course wrap the handle and part of the blade, and then pre-bake this. Alright, now that Elvis's body is nice and pre-baked, we're going to go ahead and work on the arms. I'm just adding some clay to those, like so. And once those arms are on, we're going to go ahead and give him a little jacket. Now because his prop is a double-handed axe, I want to give him a little bit of armor, but I want to make it look like this armor was stolen from someone else, so I want it to be sort of mismatched. So we're just going to give him these random shoulder pad things and just texture those with my ball stylus again, add some little nail heads and a seam, and then finishing them off with a little bit of edging. And then for some added details, I'm going to go ahead and wrap some little pieces of fabric and whatnot around the arms. Now let's give him his axe. I'm just going to place it where I want it, in both hands of course, and then wrap that wire around the handle, make sure it's nice and secure and in the position that I like, and then I'm going to go ahead and start his hands. And then once the hand is completely done, I just want to wrap it around the handle in a nice natural holding position. And then for some more details, I'm going to give it some tendons or veins, whatever you think they look like. And it's a small step that makes a big difference, and it's super easy and super effective. Haven't said that in a while. And after finishing the other hand off camera, we're going to go ahead and add some of these little bumps all over the place. Love adding these, they make a huge difference. Now that his body is looking pretty good, we're going to go ahead and start his head. I'm starting with this ball of aluminum foil, added my clay around that, added a skewer to hold on to, and now I'm just pressing in the eye sockets with my large ball stylus. Then we're going to add the eyes, and to create the eyelids and eyeball simultaneously, I'm just rocking this tool back and forth to do just that. And I want him to have a very innocent expression. I don't want him to look like a bad guy at all. I want him to look, he's supposed to look relaxed. I don't think I achieved that in the end, but he ends up looking a little more nervous, but I really like how he turns out in the end. So he definitely looks like an Elvis. You'll see what I mean. Now we're just going to create his nose, going to give him a nice long pointy goblin nose, then shape that out. And then of course he's going to have an underbite, so I'm going to give him this very large bottom lip. And we're going to add some teeth later on and just give him this sort of goofy, awkward smile. But not before we add the cheeks. Now for the teeth, normally I would pre-bake the teeth, but I didn't really think I needed to this time. You can always do that if you want to. I'm just going to add them in as uncured clay like this, and we're just going to stick them on behind the bottom lip. There we go, Elvis has a face. Now I'm just going to attach the head with a little bit of Bacon Bond, of course. Stick it on, get it in the position that I want, and we're going to give him some long floppy ears. I debated doing ears that stuck out instead, but I thought these added a little more character and added to that whole innocent vibe that he's got. Now for the one of the requirements is funny hair, so I'm going to add the base of a ponytail with clay, and then the long ponytail part will be from synthetic wool, so it'll be kind of like a mixed media piece, if you will. Then I'm just adding the hair texture with my explorer tool, and then a tiny rope like so, and then we're going to brush the surface with clay softener to remove fingerprints and bake him one last and final time. And once he's baked and completely cooled down, he's looking pretty good and he's ready for paint. All of the paints that I use in this video are Folk Art brand matte acrylics and metallics. And originally I wanted to make him blue, but I don't know, I always decide at the last minute to make creatures like this green. I don't know, so we're going in with this nice green tone. I believe this is grass green mixed with Calypso blue, and I'm going ahead and adding a dark green wash, letting that sink into all of the nooks and crannies, and then brushing off the excess with a paper towel. And then once that is completely dry, we're going to go ahead and dry brush some lighter green on the surface to bring out the details, like this right here. And we're going to brighten him up a little bit more with an even brighter green. Now let's paint his eyes. And for his teeth, I'm using the color Tapioca. And I believe this is when I named him Elvis. Now we're going to paint his clothes. Going to go with a bunch of different shades of brown. And all the areas that will be metallic, I painted black first. Metallics always show it better over black. And look at that, folk art treasure gold in the color platinum. Oh, these paints are so pigmented, I love them. Then we're gonna go on with some bronze for the shoulder armor. And for the final step, to attach his real hair, I'm just adding some Fabri-Tac into that hole that I made when I was sculpting him, and I'm just pushing it in like so, styling it a little bit, and he's done! Elvis the Goblin from the random character generator is complete. Let me know what you think of this guy in the comments, and then if you use any of the tips and techniques in this video on your own projects, share them to Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and tag me at Ace of Clay or hashtag Ace of Clay so I can check them out. And that's a wrap. I really hope you like Elvis, my interpretation of the character that the random generator came up with. I think he looks pretty cool. I say that every single time, but he came out a lot better than I expected. Like the addition of the real hair. I like how, I mean, he's not exactly relaxed. He looks kind of nervous actually, but that's okay. I like him better like this. But he's got the double-handed axe. He's definitely unusual. He's got funny hair. He could be a young adult if you wanted him to be. I don't see any fault there. The only thing I think I missed was the relaxed sort of requirement. But anyway, let me know how you think I did in the comments. And of course, if you want to join in on the next monthly challenge that I do in my Facebook group, be sure to join Snakes of Clay on Facebook. And as always, thank you so much for watching and being here. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and then follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Ace of Clay. I'm also on TikTok, so check me out there, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.